Hey everybody, I'm with Clint Bonner today, who is the Vice President of Marketing for Top Coder. And some of you might remember Clint as one of our Social Slam speakers last year. We're honored to have him at Social Slam. And I've caught up again with him in New York City, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the dynamics of crowdsourcing. So first, tell us a little bit about what your company does, Clint, Top Coder.
And Mark, thank you again. And to anybody from the So Slam community down there in Knoxville, hello, and hope to see you guys soon. It's a great event. So Top Coder, from a real macro level, it's a community of now over 465,000 people from around the globe, representing over 200 countries.
Yeah.
You're talking software developers, data algorithmists, and then digital front-end creatives, people doing UI, UX design, prototyping, design, icon design, things of that nature. With that community, for our clients, they run open innovation or crowdsourcing competitions on demand through our platform. So we create digital assets for clients, but we do it through very specific processes that are singular competitions to get back really high quality digital assets. And
so,
go ahead.
465,000 people, and about how many of those might be active in a project in like a month's time?
Yeah, so in a month's time, it's a tough thing to gauge, but overall we see about a 10% of that, or around 50,000 or so that are active at any given time, and active in our world, in our community, could mean they're in the forums participating in some way. Maybe they're registering for a specific bit of work. Yeah. Maybe they're competing on that bit. There's different ways to act inside the community. Maybe they're judging they're doing some peer review scorecarding on software. So there's different elements of what is active, and then people who are actually competing, of course, over and over again on competitions. But it's about that $50,000 range.
Well, that's really, pardon my saying so, but that's just insane. I can't keep track of my intern. So now, how do you find 50,000 qualified people? How do you vet them and manage them and keep them incentive and interested in working for you instead of somebody else?
So the two key elements to that are the idea of self-selection and then the idea of atomization. So atomization to us is, if we're building, let's say, something very simple like an iPad application, we would never put an entire iPad application and throw it out to a crowd or a community and say, build the whole iPad, go do this. What we do is we atomize the project, we break it down into its smallest pieces of the build and host them as separate competitions. What that allows us to do is, if you look at an iPad, you're looking at icon design, you're looking at UI, UX, you're looking at the architecture, the wireframing, you're looking at the storyboard, the concepts, and then of course the software to make it work, putting it all together, and then debugging it, right? Those are all, in our world, all different competitions. The reason we do it is because of self-selection. We want a community member who's joined Top Coder who either has a really hyper-specific skill set or wants to gain knowledge in a very hyper-specific way, the opportunity to go do a lighter lift and go do something that they actually want to go do. So they self-select smaller bits of work, which again could be a wireframe for an iOS, iPad app, and then they go and compete on that thing. So, but the idea of breaking it down to really small pieces and then allowing people to self-select into the work they want to do, when you talk about the vetting and understanding how you get quality people to things, those are the two main things that allow us to do it on a repeatable basis. Now,
a lot of the case studies are really connected to big companies, big brands. It's growing very quickly. It's a great way to ignite innovation, to lower costs, to solve problems. Is this becoming accessible to smaller companies, small to medium-sized companies? Is it trickling down, Clint, or is this still the playground of only companies with a lot of resources and budget?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, right? Obviously,
of course it is.
You're asking it.
It goes without saying.
But when you're getting down, when you want to affect the people on an entrepreneurial level, on a startup level, and then again small to mid-sized businesses, you've got to aggressively push the threshold down. That's what we're seeing throughout the landscape of open innovation and crowdsourcing. I don't want to go into pricing detail on a camera interview, but at Top Coder, we're doing that. We're looking at a long vision here and saying, okay, how do we get to a point where somebody with that napkin idea can then come in and access this talent on demand, understand the marketplace, and get assets out of it? So we're pushing there. It's going to take some time, but the answer is we will get there, and certainly within a number of years or so, maybe even sooner, the world will benefit from that because they'll have the ability to say, I've got that great idea, and now I have access directly to people
Yeah.
that can help me make it real.
Well, I think that's important to understand this because this can create competitive advantage. If you could somehow connect to crowdsourcing as a core competency of your business, no matter what size, there's an opportunity there. So I think it's important for my readers of Grow, to start to understand this trend. But it sounds to me like it's not at a point where it's starting to trickle down to smaller businesses yet.
I think that's fair to say. I think again, speaking as somebody who works at Top Coder, right?
Yeah.
Our core business are those that are larger at this point, and some government agencies. But again, we will aggressively push down to that mid-level and then to the real long-tail entrepreneur side.
Yeah.
And as for the entire market, I believe that'll be the case sooner or later as well.
Yeah. Well, fair enough. Hey, Clint, great. Thanks for your time. It's been great catching up with you again. And tell people tell my readers how they can connect to you on the web.
Sure. So me personally, go to Twitter at ClintonBon, ClintonBon, or if you want to look at what Top Coder's doing, at Top Coder on Twitter or topcoder.com.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Thank you.